This is a demonstration video of my morning cappuccino routine. Step 1. Grind 18 ounces fresh coffee into dosing receptacle. Never imagine what a horror this would be if the coffee beans were sentient and could feel the American hardened steel pulverizing their tiny bean bodies. Contemplating such ideas as this would surely put a damper on the small joy of the coffee making process. Pump the now pulverized beans into the portafilter and tap, 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 tap them in, so as not to create a filthy mess on the counter. Next, we will use the Weiss distribution technique to distribute the lifeless ground beans evenly throughout the portafilter. This ensures there are no clumps, which can cause uneven distribution, and ultimately channeling an inequitable extraction. We want the scalding hot water to strip the juice out of every possible bit of bean corpse. Tap 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 it. And again for good measure. A leveler is used to create a flat deathbed for uneven tamp. Tamp downward, using roughly 30 pounds of pressure. This creates a nicely compressed puck with no air gaps. Don't worry. The beans do not need air to breathe. Because they are not animals but rather a seed from a fruit, much like that of a cherry pit. They do not breathe. And they do not have feelings. Step 4. Carefully jam the portafilter into the group head. The following process will bring the beans to their ultimate form. This is the end of the road for these beans. Their long journey from their East African and South American farm homes is now coming to an end. Let's have a closer look. Today, I am using a pretty straightforward 2-to-1 espresso recipe. 18 grams of finely ground coffee with a yield of 36 grams of espresso in the cup. I am frothing barista blend, oat milk, because I no longer consume animal products. The silky smooth aerated oat milk, paired with a well-balanced espresso makes for a truly joyous morning beverage. A perfect distraction that can only be overcome by self-inflicted waves of existential terror, brought forth from unrelenting contemplation of the absurdity of life. But one must imagine Sisyphus happy. The milk has been frothed and has the appearance akin to wet paint. A traditional cappuccino is 1/3 espresso, 1/3 milk, and 1/3 foam. In a 6-ounce cup. Here, I am making something like a cappuccino, but instead of scooping out foam to top off the drink, I have injected more air into the milk and created a more consistent fluffy foam. I suppose I could call this a wet cappuccino. Step 11. Pour the silky milk with a gentle swirl so as to mix the crema into the body of the espresso shot. Steady is the key. This may be my favorite part of the process. It is gratifying to create latte art. It brings another element to the coffee making process which can also bring much joy. Good latte art requires practice and patience. And when clean and symmetrical latte art is achieved at home, it is a small pleasure that says to me, "You did a good job." And if all of these elements come together to make a good cup of coffee, it is like a hug, in a mug. Yum. Please don't forget to smash that like